Hello and welcome to Game Chat with Bwana, episode 145. I hope you all had a great week. We're going to be talking about the latest and greatest in gaming news this week. I had a good time this week. We played some new games on my live stream over on kick.com/Bwana, youtube.com/Bwana, at Bwana. I think it's at Bwana, and also at twitch.tv/Bwana. We stream almost everywhere. I played some old school RuneScape. If you missed that, you might want to go check out the VOD. That was the first time I've ever played RuneScape. And it was an enlightening experience. Go check out and see what my thoughts are. Go check it out. We also played Getting Over It. My arm is still sore. This is Getting Over It. It's a guy in the pot and a hammer trying to get to the top of something. It's such a pointless game, and it's pure frustration. So my arm is a little sore because I was moving my mouse like crazy because it's a mouse-only game. Then we moved over to some shooters and played some BattleBit a little bit last night. I had been missing that game. Been wanting to play it for a long time. And we actually dug out Counter-Strike Go. And I haven't played Counter-Strike for an extended amount of time. I don't know how long. So I wanted to get my Counter-Strike legs back and see how things were, see how things are going over in the CSGO land. And it turned out okay. I actually played after the stream, and I'm like, do I want to keep playing this or not? Anyway, we got about 6 stories to talk about, 5 or 6 stories to talk about today on Game Chat 1. I hope you all enjoy the show. And for our first story, we're going to be talking about Ubisoft. Ubisoft is a company. Yeah, they're a company. You may know them from titles such as Assassin's Creed and The Division and a bunch of other games that you probably have played. But be careful if you haven't played any of those games in a while, because we just found out that you may lose access to all of your Ubisoft games if your account has been inactive for too long. This game is over. This story is over on gamescout.co.uk, and it comes by way of a Twitter user named PC Enjoyer. He shared a screenshot of an email they received from Ubisoft, and basically telling him that your account has been inactive for very long and has been temporarily suspended, and you have 30 days to cancel its permanent closure. This is crazy. And the Ubisoft Twitter account responded with, "Hey there, we just want to chime in that you can avoid account closure, thanks, by logging into your account within 30 days since receiving the email pictured by selecting cancel account closure link contained in the email. We certainly do not want you to lose access to your games or accounts, so if you have any difficulties logging in, then please create a support case with us." Now, isn't that one of the best sentences you've ever heard? By the way, we're going to close your account if you don't use it, but we don't want you to lose access to your games. But you're going to lose access to your games if you just simply don't log in for a certain amount of time? Oh, my gosh, this is crazy. It says it's worth noting that many services delete inactive accounts after a certain time frame, partly due to data protection regulations. And that's understandable. That's understandable. But I think there's a bigger conversation that needs to be had, and it's about digital games. Digital games in the current atmosphere is a matter of convenience. People love digital games because you can just download them. You don't have to worry about a disc, physical media being damaged or anything like that, where you have to go through all that kind of nonsense. And you can reinstall or just uninstall the game at any time you want. And if you're a user of Steam or services like that, all your libraries in one spot. You don't have to worry about anything like that. So it's a big convenience factor. But as anybody who's been gaming for more than 20 years will tell you, a lot of games get lost in that whole convenience shuffle. If you think back 20 years, like before 2000, games that were prominent back then, can you still play those games today? That's a really valid question to ask, because in a lot of cases, in a vast majority of cases, you can't. Now, some people get around this by, emulating the games. They create emulators of like PlayStations and Genesis and Super Nintendos and Nintendos, and they emulate those systems, and you can download ROMs or create ROMs from the actual physical games themselves. And emulation is generally frowned upon by game developers in general because of obvious revenue loss from their part. But from a gamer's perspective, it's more of a preservation of your investment. Because today, if you buy a digital game, say you go and buy, I don't know, Witcher 3 on a certain platform, 20 years from now, will you be able to play that? Now, I know that may sound like a stretch. That may sound like something that, is reaching, but in reality, you should be able to do that. It's just like buying a board game or buying, I don't know, buying some cards or buying a D&D set or something. In 20 years, if you have that in your possession, you still can play that. You still can play that game. Even people who have the original consoles like Nintendo and Super Nintendo and the Genesis and all those old consoles, PlayStations and Xboxes, and they have their discs and they have their cartridges, Nintendo systems, Game Boys, Game Boy Advances, and Nintendo DSs. If they have their physical media, they can play those games. Pending some weird thing doesn't happen that we can't anticipate. But with digital games, in the case of Ubisoft here, you can see that even if you forget to log into your Ubisoft account because you haven't played a Ubisoft game in a while, and you just so happen to miss an email, which can probably go into your spam folder, you just so happen to miss an email telling you that your account's been permanently suspended because you just didn't log in, you could lose hundreds, if even thousands worth of dollars of games, which is really stupid. To put it bluntly, it's really stupid. So I think the digital games and the digital landscape of games really needs to be looked at and overhauled for preservation purposes and not for short-term revenue and money and profit purposes, which is why this is one of the reasons why I'm really, really getting tired of live service games. We're going to have another story later on today talking about one particular live service game. Live service games are really damaging the gaming economy and just the gaming landscape because they are out to nickel and dime your every move in the guise of, or in the illusion of, you're going to get constant updates. There's no longevity in that business plan. There's no longevity in that mindset because 20 years from now, let's look at a game that we played, not even 20 years ago. Let's look at Marvel Heroes. Remember that game? I sunk over $1,000 into that game, and there's nothing to be found of it. There's nothing. It's all gone. All the stuff I did, all the loot that I got, all the cosmetics that I obtained, all gone, forever. There's no getting it back. So those of you who playing Apex Legends, Fortnite, and you dumping thousands of dollars into these games, and you're just gonna assume that they're gonna be there in the future. You look what happened to Ubisoft, and look what's gonna happen to these services as they shift to certain things and certain philosophies. There's a high chance you could lose all of that stuff. So if you're looking at gaming as a serious hobby or something that you really, really want to invest for assets purposes, digital games aren't the way. Collectibles is becoming a thing. Look at Counter-Strike. I was talking about Counter-Strike in the beginning. Look at Counter-Strike in terms of digital, from a perspective of digital collectibles. I'm not talking about NFTs. I'm talking about digital collectibles. A gun skin, which we found out the other day. Dr. Disrespect unboxed a knife that's worth $16,000. That is something that's worth, and if you could lose that just by not logging in, it becomes a big deal. It becomes bigger than playing a game. It becomes more of a digital asset that is worth a lot of money. So a lot of thought needs to go into this. I mean, this just opens up the conversation, and it just makes me want to emulate everything. It's like, I don't even want to, for real. If something's locked down to a platform, I just want to get off of it. If it's locked on Steam, if it's locked on Epic, if it's locked on a certain console, I really just want to get it off of there. So, especially if I buy it. I'm not talking about just pirating. I'm talking about if I buy the game. Like, for example, I bought Final Fantasy 16. I want to be able to emulate that as soon as I can. Soon as it's humanly possible, I want to be able to emulate that so I can play it 20 years from now. Check the story out, guys, over on gamescout.co.uk. You may lose access to your Ubisoft games if your account has been inactive for too long, which is crazy. And for our next story, we're going to talk about the PlayStation 5, and it's a rumor. And I don't like to really report on rumors, but I want to talk about this story because it kind of hits home a little bit. The PlayStation 5 is rumored to receive a price drop in the United States, UK, and Germany. This story is over on twistedvoxel.com. It comes by way of a Twitter user. What was his Twitter user's name? Bill Kun, who is known for leaking games that are added to various subscription services prior to their official announcement, has hinted that the PS5 will soon receive a price drop in multiple regions, including the US, the UK, and Germany. This may be some sort of a clearance sale in order to make way for possible arrival of a slim and or pro version of a console. Now, it's not a far-fetched rumor because PlayStations have gone through these cycles where prior to a new model being updated, there's been a sale. Now, I just got a PS5. This is the real reason why we're talking about this story. I literally just got a PS5 for Final Fantasy 16. And can you imagine? Ooh, can you imagine if it got a price drop like a month from now? I couldn't wait a month. No, Bwana, you couldn't wait a month. Oh man, I part of me hopes this isn't true, but history points to it probably being likely and more suitably a possibility of something that could possibly happen. Probably, maybe. It's a rumor. It's not fact, but history is on its side because I think we're getting towards that moment where Sony's going to introduce something new, whether it be a slim version or a cooler version or a slim down version, which doesn't have a optical drive and has a smaller SSD, probably has a 256 gigabyte SSD, and it's probably slimmed down. It's like a PlayStation 5 Lite. Remember the PS2 Slim? I don't think people remember that. I was shocked. I had a PlayStation 2, right? And then they came out with this PlayStation 2 Slim, which was just like one of the better designs of all of them. And so many people bought that version. They didn't buy the original PS2. They bought that PS2 Slim version. And I think that's one of the reasons why Sony is continually doing these revamps of smaller, lighter, faster in some cases. And in my example, it's probably not going to be faster. But Sony is doing these smaller, more efficient models to the consumers. They do it all the time. Xbox does it too. Nintendo definitely does it. You can always count on 3 versions of one Nintendo console. So the PS5 rumored to receive a price drop in the US, UK, and Germany. I hope it's not true, just for personal reasons, but practically it's probably going to happen. So if you don't have a PS5 right now, you're in the market for one, I would suggest waiting a few months if you can, because there's likely going to be something happening here. I believe this rumor. I have no facts, I have no proof, but I do believe this rumor just based on history. Check the story out over on twistedvoxel.com. They got the details. PlayStation 5 rumored to receive a price drop in the US, the UK, and Germany. I hope it doesn't happen. And for our next story, we're going to talk about Activision Blizzard, which came out with some numbers recently. And this one really, really surprised me, not only from the standpoint of the article title, but also from what was in it. Check this out. PC is currently more profitable to Activision Blizzard than consoles. During its second quarter 2023 financial report, Activision Blizzard stated that PC is currently a more profitable platform than both the Xbox Series X and PS5. According to the publisher, for the 6 months of the year, PC made $1.25 billion. For comparison purposes, all consoles combined made $1.19 billion. So it's not a huge amount of a difference, but we've been led to believe as gamers over the years that, console makes so much money. PC gaming is not worth it. We're going to do console first and then port to PC. That's been the mantra for the past few years, right? Let's not forget mobile. However, even the PC platform was no match for mobile. Mobile is currently the golden cow of Activision Blizzard and has brought $1.9 billion. $1.9 billion. That's almost twice than the consoles combined. The consoles combined are 1.19, which is about 1 billion, 1.2 billion. And this is almost 2 billion from mobile. It's nuts. Absolutely nuts. But that's not it. But wait, there's more. This is the thing that gets me. Let's talk about Call of Duty because, again, old school gamers, we were led to believe that Call of Duty was a console game that was ported to PC ever since like Modern Warfare 2. Modern Warfare, Call of Duty 4, because it was started as a PC title, and then it kind of moved to consoles, and then we got these console games. And you remember Modern Warfare 2? You remember in Modern Warfare 2 when they got rid of servers, they got rid of dedicated servers, and we had a boycott and everything. They went to this matchmaking crap, and that was the true shift to the console mindset, to Call of Duty. History lesson for you guys. And then Treyarch came in and was like, hello, PC gamers. This is how you do COD. Welcome back to dedicated servers, which is why Treyarch would be my favorite COD developer for all time. Anyway, Call of Duty has more players on PC than both the PlayStation and Xbox. I repeat, Call of Duty has more players on PC than on both PlayStation and Xbox. What year is it, man? I don't know what's going on. Check out this graph, man. 25% of people on Call of Duty are on PC versus 8% on Xbox and 16% on PlayStation. And then you got mobile. What is happening to gaming, man? I'm serious. It's like people make fun of mobile games. They make fun of them all the time. They're blah, blah, blah. It's like, especially on Twitch and on streaming platforms, your chat comes in. They always shun mobile sucks. Mobile sucks. Look at this. I don't even need to say anything else. I really don't need to say anything else. This is nuts. This is whew. I don't have any words. 35.7 was that million players on mobile for Call of Duty. So it's a new day apparently, where PC is the darling of Activision Blizzard, and given that Microsoft is buying Activision Blizzard, you can bet that they're salivating their lips of all the Windows possibilities. I think there's a part in here where they talk about how Call of Duty missed an opportunity by not going to Steam. Yeah, by not going to Steam, they missed a big opportunity. It says, while it's also funny, what's also funny is that Microsoft's comments regarding COD. Microsoft has stated that it was a mistake for Call of Duty to skip Steam. And in a way, these numbers prove that Microsoft was actually right. Yeah, they would have got probably even more users if they would have went to Steam. A lot more users. Check this story out, man. This one shocked me in like multiple ways. It's like PC is currently more profitable, number one. But there's also more people playing COD on PC than all the consoles. And then there's mobile. It's just like, hello, I'm mobile. You dinosaur platforms, get out of here. And for our next story, we're going to talk about that thing I was talking about earlier with our stories about how live service games are awful. This announcement from Gundam Evolution, which was touted as being the Overwatch 2 killer for quite a while, a Gundam-based, class-based shooter called Gundam Evolution, shutting down. That's right. It is shutting down. The game literally just came out. It says, thank you all for your continued support. This is Katsuya Maruyama, the executive producer of Gundam Evolution. It is with great sadness that we're announcing the conclusion of Gundam Evolution. The game service will end on November 29th, 2023. And they listen here the schedule about what's to happen, and they're going to end sell the coins, suspension of the season pass, and leading up to November 29th, which is the end of service. They're going to continue to support the game until then. This game didn't even get off its feet before it was dead, and it was a good game. I had a lot of fun playing this, and I can understand why people were calling it an Overwatch 2 killer, because it was a class-based shooter that had very, very good mechanics. It had some big balancing problems, though. Big balancing problems. There were some super overpowered classes, but, you know, in any live service game, people are like, oh, yeah, they'll balance it. Let's give them some time. The game's been out for only 3 minutes. Give them some time. This is the voice of the animated gamer who is supporting a game even though it has glaring problems. It's going away. So if you bought anything, cosmetics, coins, skins, what have you, that's all going in the trash. And this is reiterating that point, man. Live service games are garbage. They're garbage. They're going down to the drain. They're circling the drain. They've went in the drain. They've regurgitated up due to some storm drain back up from some random storm. And it's like this goo, this nasty stankness that's in your sink. And then it goes back down again. That's live service games right now. So if you're a fan of Gundam Evolution, I'm sorry about this. This is bad news. Game's going away. And it's just, like I said, man, it's like how you're supposed to approach games going forward. Like, quality single-player games seems to be what people are buying the most of. In my inner circle, people are going back to, like, you know, we were talking about Final Fantasy 16, and we're going back and playing old Final Fantasies. Like, I went back and played Final Fantasy 12, which is not a live service game. It's a game I actually have on the PS2 disc in my closet that I can break out at any time and play it on my PlayStation 2, which might be in my garage. I got to see if I might not. Anyway, moving on to the next point. Live service is like the future is grim, man. It's like if you invest time into a live service game, whether it be RuneScape, whether it be Final Fantasy 14, whether it be World of Warcraft, whether it be Diablo 4, whether it be Call of Duty, With Warzone and their live service offerings, whether it be Apex Legends, whether it be Counter-Strike Go, you have got to understand that this stuff can go away at any time. And you're investing money in it. You're investing money in your cosmetics. You're investing money in your progression. You're essentially putting your time and money and effort into something that could possibly be gone. And just outside of the terms of gaming, that's not a good idea. In any avenue, in anything, you don't want to put your energy into something that is going to die. You don't want to do that. Which is why a lot of people don't even bother installing these games, because they're like, I'm not going to play the game if it's going to die in 3 months. And they make a great point. They make a really good point. Why even bother putting the time in if you know the game's going to die in 3 months? That's what people were saying about Exoprimal. Last episode, I talked about Exoprimal, a $60 dino shooter game, which is really fun. But why bother playing it if it's going to die in 3 months? It's a sad state of gaming right now when it comes to live service games. And I really hope developers pick up on this signal that gamers are sending that we don't want anymore. We do not want any more of this. Please stop. We don't want it. We're tired of being heartbroken by games. We're tired of the Marvel heroes. We're tired of the Hawkins. We're tired of any other game that was a lovable franchise which just died because the live service model couldn't keep the lights on. Check it out, guys, over on GundamEvolution.com. The game's going away. November 29th. It's going away. I really hope you didn't invest in this game because it is gone. It's gone. Straight from the department of the Dead Game is Dead department, here it is. Overwatch 2 engagement and player investment is declining. Activision Blizzard admits, but the publisher hopes the next major update will fix that. Well, now, Overwatch 2, Dead Game is Dead. According to their Q2 2023 earnings report, Activision Blizzard revealed its free-to-play shooter has declined sequentially this quarter. However, it thinks the game's next major update, Overwatch 2 Invasion, which releases next month, should help circumvent the issue. While engagement and player investment in Overwatch 2 declined sequentially in the quarter, the Overwatch team is looking forward to the August 10th release of Overwatch 2 Invasion. This will be this will be the largest seasonal update yet, planned to include new PvE story missions, a new game mode, and a new hero progression system, as well as an additional hero. Okay, this is one of those cases where the writing is on the wall, that this game is in bigger trouble than they're letting on in this post. It's cool that they're able to admit that the game is in decline, because it is. It's in massive decline, mindshare wise. Actual numbers wise, I don't know why. I don't know those specific numbers, but they kind of point to that as well. So here's some writing, here's some scribbling on the wall here. For this update that they're touting, Overwatch 2 is being ported over to Steam. It's coming to Steam. They're going to bet on that Steam audience seeing Overwatch 2 in the launcher to kind of make up for their decline. So they're bringing it to Steam to inject new players. This has nothing to do with content, by the way. This is just them going to another platform to kind of offset the numbers. 50 people were laid off on their esports staff recently, which points to a potential Overwatch League overhaul or just dismantling of it. And I think they offer to buy out contracts of Overwatch teams that don't want to continue. I think they said it was like a couple $1 million that they'll, if companies don't want to continue with Overwatch League, I think they're offered to buy out the contracts or whatever. Something along those lines. It really, really points to a death knell. I'm not going to say the game is going to die, because I already consider it dead to me. It's dead to me. But there's a lot of things, there's a lot of writing on the wall that when they made, I'm serious, man, this is when I saw it. When they announced that their much anticipated and highly anticipated PvE mode, player progression mode, which they're kind of like trying to make you forget about, is no longer coming. The entire reason why the game was called Overwatch 2, the feature is not coming. Yet they've added more monetization and more nickel and diming, and this stupid battle pass, which has gotten worse. They want us to believe that things are going to get better with this new update, even though all of that happened. And most players are going to see through it. Sadly, most players aren't. They're going to get new people. They're going to get new people on Steam. Those new people are going to get into the game. Overwatch 2 has a big addiction hook, so they're probably going to be playing for a little bit. For those 5 people that didn't have Battle.net already, because there are people out there that just refuse to install Battle.net for whatever reason. So they don't know about Overwatch 2. So they're on Steam like, hey, what's this Overwatch 2 game? What's this game about? I hear it's free now. Ha! and they're going to play. I don't know what's going to happen, but my suspicion is that they're going to quickly see through a lot of what's there once the addiction wears off after a couple weeks. So engagement and player investment is declining. I quit the game months ago. Now, I was one of the people in my community that was always pushing Overwatch 2. Like, hey guys, Overwatch 2 League is on, blah, blah, blah. Overwatch League is on. Go get some drops. Yeah, this update's coming out. It's going to be cool. This new hero's coming out. Yeah, it's going to be cool. Yeah, I'm going to be streaming Overwatch. Yeah. I was that guy. That was me in my community. No longer the case. I don't even talk about the game anymore. I mean, it's stories like this where I think it's worth talking about, but it's like I don't talk about it anymore. It's like when something new comes out, I actually do not care. I don't even want to report on it, honestly. But this particular story I think is worth talking about because it affects me, because I'm one of those people that left the game because of the stuff they're doing. And now they're coming to Steam and they're trying all these things. There's these last-ditch efforts to get the player base to come back. And I, for one, I'm saying it's too late. They have messed up. They have destroyed one of the best franchises Blizzard has ever come out with. And I don't want to see it fail, but I'm pretty sure it's going to. Check it out over on IGN.com. They got the details. Overwatch 2 engagement and player investment is declining. Activision Blizzard admits, but they're counting on their next update to bring the players back. And for our final story, probably going to win an award for the biggest troll ever in 2023. Redditors troll an AI content farm into covering a fake WoW feature. The Glorable Ruse secured coverage on a Garbo website. This comes by way of Engadget.com. This Redditor put up a post talking about how he was so excited for this new character or creature called Glorbo. And I'm looking for the quote where he put in there. He says, honestly, this new feature makes me so happy. I just really want some major bot-operated news website to publish an article about this. So what happened was the portal, their AI crawlers picked this up and they posted a blog post about it. And it's a totally fake article. So they got caught with their pants down. And then he posts his tweet. He says, feels so good to be able to talk about Glorbo finally. I remember my first day at Blizzard. We were just starting to work on the implementation. That was almost 15 years ago. Excellent reporting to track this down. And here's the screenshot of the article of a completely fake feature that an AI bot or AI crawler picked up. Just a sad state of gaming journalism in 2023. And kind of hilarious that this fake article made its way to a published site, which they tried to cover it up. They put satire in the headline before eventually deleting the post entirely. Oh man. And this is not the last time this is going to happen, because these AI, or I'm not even calling them AI, these crawler sites, they've been doing this for years. This is not anything new. I remember some of my stuff was picked up by crawlers and they just repost your entire blog post. They don't even care. They would take your name out of it and they repost the whole thing, and they get SEO hits, they get ad hits on it, and they just steal your content. So the AI bots are basically taking what people are writing and they use an AI generator like ChatGPT, and they generate an article based on that subject matter. And here, this site got caught with their pants down. Engadget has contacted Blizzard to find out whether it will address the hype for Glorbo and actually bring the feature to WoW. Blizzard is the type of company that will actually bring Glorbo in as an actual thing. It'll probably be an NPC or something, but they're the type that will basically enhance the trollage of this. They'll do that. Well, the old Blizzard will. I don't know about the new Blizzard. As it happens, Blizzard is reportedly using AI to help create character outfits and concept art. I didn't even know that. We've also asked Z-League for comment, and we'll let you know if they'll send us a presumably AI-generated statement. Oh, man. This is wild. This is wild. Check the story out, man. Probably the biggest troll you're going to see this year, man, that somebody posted this thing, and the AI bots picked it up and actually posted it. It's the biggest Gotham moment I can think of. Check it out over on Engadget.com. They got the details over there. And that concludes Game Chat with Bwana episode 145. I don't thank you all for watching and listening today. Please click the subscribe button. Click that like button as well if you enjoyed the content. We're also on Spotify. You can listen to it over on that particular internet website. I also want to thank my patrons at patreon.com/Bwana. Thank you so much to these individuals for contributing towards my contributions, whether it be 3D printing, whether it be this podcast, whether it be my live streams, whether it be any of the content that I do on Discord or anywhere else that I'm on the internet, on Twitter or Instagram. Thank you so much for supporting my content creation endeavors. I'm a content creation machine. Put out content like crazy. If you miss any of it, you need to get on the ball. YouTube, Twitter, Twitch, YouTube, again with live, YouTube, Bwana Labs, and Kick.com, and all kinds of places. Content is constantly flowing from Casa de Bwana. We do this show every week. I was going to say every Wednesday, but we do this show every Sunday. And you can look forward to every Monday if you subscribe to the YouTube and or the Spotify. We also do another podcast called Print All the Things About 3D Printing, where I talk about what I printed that week and any 3D printing stories that we can muster. We've been throwing out shorts. I don't know. Let me guys what you know. Let me guys what you think. Let me know what you guys think. Slow down, Bwana. About the shorts that I've been putting out. We've been putting out shorts of each article that I talk about, kind of like a little blurb to kind of bring people to the show. So if you enjoy that, let me know in the comments. All right. Everybody have a great day. I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.